Hello, everybody. We are back for another week of VCS action. As seems my stream hotkeys aren't working. That's not ideal. We'll have to fix those. But here we are. We are on screen now. It is me every day. With me, as always, is Yulwei. How are you, man?
Hello. Yeah, was awoken today by a little bit of construction work again, so we're back
Great.
to whatever is going on at my house. But
One day they'll finish.
hopefully it will not disturb our cast. Let's see. Yeah,
All right.
how are you feeling today?
I have a storm going on outside, so we could get thunder along with the drills. Camera just wants to not go in position, but we are good. I mean, look, here we all are, Valentine's Day, and we're watching the VCS.
It's actually Valentine's Day.
It is the 14th.
I completely forgot about that.
It is, but look, we're spending Valentine's Day together, Yulwei. It couldn't be more appropriate. But we do have some interesting games tonight. That's the word I'm going to use. Cerberus versus
that's a good word to use.
FTV. FTV has been super unimpressive. Let's just be completely honest. There's no other way to put it. They've looked kind of like FTV, but even Police isn't playing that well.
Yeah. The real question is, would FTV win against Schalke?
Ooh, probably not.
No, I don't think so either. And that's not a good sign.
I mean,
if you're projected to lose against Schalke, you should probably just disband, honestly.
The minor region, give them a break, son. I have to fix my camera
Is
break.
bad, though.
Very
bad.
There's also, the bit of Schalke drama. But let's not talk about that. It's not EU, as much as we would love to be casting EU. But Cerberus, they came in super hyped for us this season. We spoke to Jensen, who had some aggressive claims. He backed them up well, don't get me wrong, but some aggressive claims. And they haven't lived up to that so far. So I think we still pretty heavily favour them in this first.
Yeah, I think most of in our prediction game, most people put them at 2-0 today over FTV. As you just said in chat, it's for sure possible for them to throw a game, even to FTV. I don't quite expect it today. Maybe FTV has done something over the last week, and FTV historically, at least on the last split, have actually had Cerberus's number. So let's see. Maybe they can actually win their first game so far. They are 0-6. Cerberus, meanwhile, 3-5. So that's in the LCS or the LEC with best of one format. 3-5 wouldn't be that bad. 1-2 sounds a little bit worse in terms of series score. They struggled in a few series, especially against Loki, if I remember correctly. They got DBL. It was they got absolutely annihilated. So
they've had a few very, 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 very bad moments. I'm going to apologise ahead of time to everyone watching. There's a big storm here, and when big storms happen, my bird gets a little bit freaked out. So he might be doing a bit of yelling. I'm sorry. He's just spooked.
Hopefully we get some Rakan picks so that his screaming is actually justified.
Yeah, cool. I still really, really want to, since we can't have game sounds, I want to record different sound clips of Rakan yelling and just have it on a soundboard whenever we get a Rakan game. So when he goes in, I can just play a little scream. Just because that'd be quite funny. So one other thing to talk about, because it is being shown on the official stream, is the MVP rankings. Yardo on there is actually got a few MVP points. Do we think... Sorry, let me rephrase it and sort of segue us into a different way of discussing this. Where do we think, for both teams, their sort of most important player will be? How do they win? What do we play through if we're FTV? We'll start with FTV. Yep. I mean, Police is the obvious one.
Yeah.
But FTV, do they have anyone else?
Yeah, we can't really say anything about FTV's win conditions judging from this season, because they haven't actually won a game yet, right? So in the summer split, it was through Police and B in the bot lane. We need to see better synergy between Police and this new support, whoever it will be. And will it be Tiger? Will it be Kuroko? No one really knows, but they need to be better in lane. Police can't once again get 20 CS down in lane. That's just not good enough. Then I think it's also very important for them to have Victory step up. He did step up in one of the games with the Aatrox, where he got a few solo kills.
Yep.
Looked very strong 6-2, I think, before the final team fight happened. So Victory, I think, and Police should be able to carry FTV over the line if the other lanes and the jungle can also stabilize a little bit. But yeah, there needs to be a big improvement for the two backlane carries.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, the problem is their top lane is just so weak, and top lane's really important in this meta. It's obviously a joke that we always say top lane's the island, and that's still true. But they're the island, but eventually they build a bridge to the mainland. And once they're in the mainland, they're really important. You see Ornns changing games, that sort of Aatroxes sometimes can change a game. Sometimes Aatrox looks pretty out. But we'll see. So we should be heading into Champion Select soon enough. All the players are seated, it looks like. I wonder if we can tell who Cerberus will be running in the support role. Who do you think they've looked better with, Kuriko or Tiger? I know it's a small... that's FTV, of course, I'm an idiot. FTV. Just got them backwards in my head.
I was not impressed with Kuriko in the support role, but they need to... they seem to need Kuriko's shot calling, so I'd rather see him start in the jungle again. I wasn't too impressed by Pot either, so just put Kuriko back into the jungle. He was a very good jungler at the end of the Summer Split, so if you can go back to that, it'd be nice to see. Tiger Pot is another potential starting roster. I don't quite expect it. It really seems like they need Kuriko in the lineup, but who knows? Maybe they try to complete wipe everything from the board and then try a new start, because 06 is not the very best start they've ever done. So
yep, and we are heading into Champion Select, so we'll just get that up. Just give me.
It is Pot and Kuriko. So Tiger, the substitute support, once again today in the on the bench. We will see Kuriko, the starting jungler, formally now playing the support position again.
A little bit interesting there, for sure. I still don't like that at all. I think Pot is not good enough to justify putting him out. But regardless, the bans are coming in. Rumble and Gragas being removed, as are Set and Elise. So far.
Set ban on red side, indicating that Set might go up to first pick priority. We are still on patch 10.2, which is a little bit surprising, because LEC today will be on 10.3. I don't know why VCS is still lacking behind in terms of changing the patches. It's a little weird to see, but we'll play another week on 10.2. That means Akali priority is still high, and we see a brand on the red side.
Thank God. We've had way too many games where she's gotten through the draft, and it's made me very upset, because there is no champion in this game in 10.2 that needs to be banned more than Akali. You are not banning her on reg side, you are drafting wrong. But that is a good start to the draft there for Cerberus, picking up Aphelios. Pretty much the strongest ADC.
Starting off with the pinnacle of game design. That's nice to see.
Took 200 years to come out with Aphelios. 200 years to read his passive.
That's very true. I like this response from FTV a lot. This is the flexible Syndra we've seen for Artemis at least once.
Yep.
Oh, no, that's actually not true. I was researching a different team for the second series, so sorry about that. But it's still a flexible pick for the Syndra, can go mid, can go bot lane. And then Pot also with high impact Jarvan. Jarvan is one of the strongest junglers right now for VCS in particular, especially with players like Sorn and Levi. So good to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Answered by Rek'Sai, which is a bit of the Zhu House special. He absolutely loves the Sand Shark. So
yeah,
I mean, it's
his
not
best champ by far.
It is his best champ. It's not necessarily the highest on the tier list, and if we were picking by tier list, that might be a bit of a mistake. But we're not. We're picking to comfort. And speaking of comfort, there's the Thresh being picked up, which is interesting with no support bans and no support.
It's quite surprising for Cerberus, because Ronopi has been a little bit of a Leona one trick. 5 games on Leona already, on 8 games in the season. Not a single Thresh game so far, so It is probably to assist Aphelios, because with the lantern he gets an escape. That's a very good thing to have for a mobile ADC. I like the Thresh pick here. Doesn't show a lot about the draft. I don't think you need the Leona, especially. Yeah, Leona into Syndra can be hard to play, but now you're dealing with a potential Syndra Leona bot lane on the other side, which is also quite hard to play against. So.
I think they might have made the call that Police doesn't play mages.
Maybe, yeah. I think that's probably a good call to make, because maybe he can play the mages, but can he carry on the mages? So
yeah, I think that's
testing
where
FTV here a little bit in the drafting phase. I expect this to be victory, Syndra, I have to say.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree with you here.
And the second round of bans is coming in. Renekton being removed by FTV, which is a very interesting one. Renekton, I don't think, is particularly great this season with the removal of Spear of Shojin. And then on the other side, MF, one of the other primary ADCs that can carry, is removed, as well as Gangplank, who is just generally strong. Police, if he wants to opt into the trifecta of ADCs, is forced onto Senna, who, again,
really like these bans from Cerberus.
Yeah.
I think Cerberus was super smart with banning out MF and Gangplank, because you could pick Senna here for FTV, but then you kind of lack a little bit of damage, right? So what is the best damaged carry in the top lane to pick that is also safe and Rika can play him? Probably Gangplank. So really like this focus from Cerberus, kind of forcing FTV into Senna or reconsidering ADC choices to go to a B tier ADC to get more teamfight damage, which I kind of expect. I think FTV will go with something like Kai'Sa or Xayah.
I like Xayah.
I think Xayah is a good choice.
Yeah,
I think Xayah is the most probable choice. Could go Kai'Sa as well. Not my favorite champ here.
It's the VCS's favorite though. They absolutely adore it. It will be Mordekaiser, the opting into the Mordekaiser Aatrox, which makes a bit of sense. Looking pretty good there, and the Zoe for Yado. He has played this champion before.
Yep. Okay, this is very much Aphelios late game. What just happened? Okay, it is Syndra in the bot lane. That is very interesting.
That is not what we expected, to say the least. So, I've just noticed, it's been pointed out by chat, thank you. Just a little bit of an error. One thing. I'm just going to fix it out if you just want to fill. There we go. Never mind. We're fine. And there's Rika's solo lane Nocturne.
Yeah, there we go. Will
he
go mid?
special.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to go mid lane. Look at his summoner spells. He has played the Nocturne mid before. I'm not sure how I feel about saying this sentence, but yeah, he's one of our Nocturne specialists, the mid lane Nocturne specialist. So into Zoe, that's an interesting counter pick. I think Nocturne can definitely play a good lane into Zoe, blocking her most crucial ability with his spell shield, then pushing her out all the time. She doesn't really have the greatest amount of wave clear if you pressure constantly. So
very true.
It's good. Victory also, his best game was on Aatrox, so I like to see him go back to the Aatrox. FTV is going with a different approach to what we thought would be their identity this season, full-on carry through Police. This time Police is more of on a early game bridging champion when Syndra, crashing the Aphelios. You can play through bot lane here, but you don't actually want to really play around bot lane. The only problem here for FTV is triple AD topside, which might be
that's
slight
not
problem
ideal.
setting up ganks there. But that said, Zoe can't really itemize armor too early, so
she can go
I think
Seekers.
you can still go. Yeah, she can go Seekers, but then she'll struggle a lot in lane for trades and mana sustain. So I think Zoe is still a good target to gank with J4 Aatrox, J4 Nocturne, I should say.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Honestly, I like this FTV comp. The Nocturne is obviously very much out of left field, but at the same time, I think it should do well into Mordekai's, as the VCS stream calls him. Not Mordekaiser. There's no R. It's just Mordekai's. I'm gonna put Rakan in his timeout room because he's having a big old freak out. Give me one moment.
So, Very interested. I agree with you. I think FTV, I like to see FTV trying to break the mold, try to go with something unconventional, and see if anything sticks that they're throwing at Cerberus. It can't really get any worse with standard team compositions, so why not try to go for for something different? And maybe you can surprise Cerberus, maybe you can sneak a victory here. Then you just need one more victory, maybe in a standard game, to get the serious victory as well. So very interesting first approach. I like the Syndra early. I think the first rotation was just very solid from FTV, and they built from there. Syndra, J4, very flexible, very strong in the early game. So
yeah, I completely
cool
agree.
Draft.
Makes a lot of sense to me. However, the question becomes, can Rika... Obviously, Nocturne makes sense into Aphelios, because he just dives on him, Aphelios doesn't have an escape, what's he going to do? But he has a Thrash. So is there enough dive to lock the Aphelios down when there's a Lantern? I think that's going to be the very important question. If they can... Also, Artemis
there is a
lethal
lot of
tempo.
dive on FTVs. Artemis is... Oh, that's interesting.
That's... Why?
I think I've seen it before. It's... the lethal tempo is more for the longer team fights, right? And for 1v1 as well. I think it's probably the strongest 1v1.
Sorry to cut you off, but here is the gank. Pop moving in on the top lane. LL only level 1, doesn't really have anything, and he just gets chopped to bits. Pot recognizing the point of power and where the Mordekaiser was pushed in. Love it.
Questioning our ults not flashing away there. Could have potentially escaped. He got very close to his turret and had his flash still available. So now, okay, so he basically made the judgment call to say, okay, you get the kill here, but I won't use my flash so that I don't die again. But on the other side, the enemy team didn't have to expend any flashes as well. So it's basically just a free kill here.
Yeah, it's very true. But we cut out of the replay there. I thought we might, because Zhuhao was caught on the invade. He gets stunned up, will go down. Rika picks that one up. Pot's in a little bit of trouble, but there's no one... Never, I tell a lie.
Nice
Yado with the flash on the Q does pick up that kill. Can they get anything back on him? Apparently, they tried to turn, but with the W flash for Zoe, they didn't end up doing it. And that is the blue buff defended, and a kill picked up for the solo lane Nocturne.
Yeah, both mid lane is getting one mid lane kill, so should just accelerate this matchup a little bit. Zoe has the push on the mid lane, so she actually got a little bit more out of that situation. Nocturne needs to clear the wave before he can reset, so now a little bit of tempo advantage in the mid lane. Also, no teleport for Rika to cheat the recall, so yeah. Yado in the end coming out on top of the straight, but now no flash on the Zoe, so she should be a very easy target to pick on for Pot and Rika again. Sadly, they both used their flashes there. Also, Victory actually used his flash.
Yeah, that is interesting. So it is a flash disadvantage. Top lane. I'm not sure where he used that. He wasn't in the bot fight.
I think he just got caught on the turret or something against LL. I'm not sure. We
didn't see that, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, the one, I think you're right that individual play definitely benefited Yado more, but I think accelerating Nocturne is more important.
Yeah.
So it might have benefited FTV more, even if it didn't necessarily benefit Nocturne more.
Yeah, if you look at the lane position, Yado definitely feels great about this kill. But then again, the flash is, I think, the one thing that will potentially come back to hurt him. They're expanding his flash against J4 Nocturne. I think level 6 should be a very easy attempt on the mid lane. Especially if Yado keeps on pushing out the minion waves here, which...
Very true, and here comes the fight in the bot lane. Ron OP is engaged on so many stuns into the knock-up. This is going to be an easy kill, but here comes the teleport. They're trying to turn it around. LL will be arriving. Pot is absolutely not getting away here, and Artemis will get the kill in response. So it's a 1-for-1 overall. Teleport expended, but I don't think Cerberus is complaining too much about a kill on their Aphelios, considering the kill went over to Kuriko.
This was a very non-VCS teleport here. It was very late. Usually we see panic teleports as soon as the gang starts. The enemy team can most of the time react to those teleports. So this time, I actually waited for his support to go down and then try to go flank teleport, which worked out very well for his bot laner in particular.
Yeah, absolutely. Hot spent a lot of time waiting here. He was actually there for a long time before this replay. But
the gank was executed very nicely. The Thresh can't do anything. He survives way longer than he should because of Aftershock. But now look at LL. Also Pot. Yeah, was caught a little bit too far in enemy territory. Very easy kill for the ADC. And now Artemis with a very good start on the Aphelios.
Yeah, and also just going back to the teleport point, I completely agree with you. The analysis you had on that teleport, but just to break it down for the people in the chat who might have the play-by-play kind of brain like I do, it was a non-VCS teleport because it was good. VCS has some questionable teleports. As Thresh roams to the mid lane just to back up Yardo. Trouble Bubble does land, but there's just no follow-up. Overall,
FCC is lasting for way too long. My God, it's disgusting to see.
Pretty gross. 200 years of game design. Certainly, genuinely, just while we have a lull, I quit League of Legends for 6 months when Zoe came out. I just stopped playing. I played like 4 games against her, and me and 3 of my friends were just like, I don't want to play this game anymore. We came back like 6 months later because we were just like, no, I don't want to. I tried to get into Dota, but I couldn't get over.
Release Zoe was quite something.
For a long time.
Being one shot from 3 screens away was a great feeling as a squishy support player.
It was super fun. Really interactive. But
I actually like to watch Zoe a lot, I have to say. I think most of the games I hate to play against when I play League are actually very enjoyable to watch. Yasuo as well. I hate to play against Yasuo, but he's most of the time very enjoyable to watch in pro play, as we just see Police missing every possible minion he could miss.
Yeah, that was
not the worst.
Not the best demonstration of farming right there, but it's okay. He's competitive in farm. The mid lane gap, and just to comment on the mid lane, we do actually see the Seekers coming out early. I agree that it's suboptimal, but oh no, here comes the darkness. Zhu Hao is going to instantly die. That's Nocturne.
That was quick. That was very quick.
Yep.
Wow, Rika just murdered him.
He was clearing the ward.
Even tried to flash away, but Rika followed up with his flash. So very good early kill for Nocturne. He's falling behind in CS. So in terms of gold compared to Yardo and experience, he shouldn't actually be ahead with this kill. But he's setting Zhu Hao even farther behind. Zhu Hao, I think, is the correct pronunciation. So sorry about that. But yeah, Zhu Hao not with the greatest start on one of his favorite champs, potentially his best champ as well. And we all know about Rek'Sai in the late game when she doesn't have a good start.
Not good at all. And the Death Realm has been called here. Actually, I don't know how this is going to go for LL. Well, it's going to go really well if Victory doesn't have anything up. Good flash to hit the Obliterate. This should be an easy kill. The passive's still ticking. Down he goes. There is a teleport coming in. I think that one might have actually been too late. They could have potentially tried to save Victory, but it doesn't matter as Police gets a cool, clean 300 gold.
Yeah, and we saw one thing we get to see in this matchup a lot from the Mordekaiser. Early game, he struggles a little bit against the superior wave clear and range for Aatrox, but as soon as he goes with the Bramble West, he just wins every trade, especially ult against ult. And yeah, the Aatrox had absolutely no chance there. Denying the healing from Aatrox early on can be very valuable. I sometimes don't like to see the early executioner's callings and a few of the matchups, especially Camille, because I think it just sets Camille behind too much. But I think Mordekaiser can freely go armor item that also gives him heal reduction and then win all the trades. So, very favorable matchup.
Yeah, it definitely is. Just noticed something's not showing. Hang on, there we go. Had to fix something on the stream, but there we go. Now you can see our lovely little names on the screen. Go follow us on Twitter. I post... Actually, don't follow me. Follow Yulwei. He posts good stuff. I shit post way too much. But we do have the
Good
Rift
Twitter.
Herald secured.
Follow him as well.
We do have FTV picking up the Rift Herald. The FTV, gotta say, looked pretty good so far. Looked way better than they did last week. If they can keep this up, they can win this game. And
that said, though, it's still even gold, and they need a gold advantage here. If you look at the scaling in this game, yeah, that's very true. They are on average 2.2k gold down at 15 minutes. We're only 4 minutes away from 15 minutes, so looks way better as you pointed out. But yeah, looking at the scaling, they need more gold. We have an outscaling comp on the server and servers. The scaling advantage is very hard to describe because it's
massive,
enormous. Yeah,
absolutely massive. So, and I have to question here: why has Cerberus lane swapped? Herald is already taken. Normally, you lane swap your bot lane. Oh god, look at duck rooms. It's disgusting.
I mean, you actually don't need a Rift Herald if you have failures. Just let him have a little bit of alone time. It's a very abusive relationship. Going back to our theme of today.
Yeah, exactly. It's Valentine's Day, and Aphelios does not treat his tower waifu very nice.
No.
Just another reason why he should be removed for the game. Really bad example. Just delete him. As we do have the Rift Herald being summoned up, I actually think there's a bit of a mistake here. I think they should have tried to get as many plates as they could have before.
You've watched the LEC Twitter.
I've watched the LEC. I have. Thanks for pointing that out. I can't look smart, can I? No, but to borrow an LEC talking point, Rift Herald does true damage, so you want to try and do as much damage to the tower as you can, let it stack up its fortification, then Rift Herald. But they ended up just using it for the quick cash of gold. I believe they gave it solo to police as well.
Yep.
The VCS is learning.
360 gold. While I agree generally with the point, I think in this situation they had to use there because the enemy team was responding to the swap, and you needed to get the gold as quickly as possible. Because if you wait with the Rift Herald there, you can't actually funnel the gold into police because it's too risky for him to stand under the turret alone. So you would have to have his support and jungler there, and then you split the gold. So I actually like this call from FTV, even though generally try to use the Rift Herald on the last two plates because the last two plates have the most fortification, so they are the hardest to get through. But the Rift Herald, as you rightfully pointed out, does true damage, so he doesn't care, or she doesn't care about the platings.
Very true. So while we, again, have just a little bit of a setup here, we've seen oh, never mind, I tell a lie. The hook out of the EQ, Paranoia is used. Rika needs to be diving in at some point, dude. That's going to expire. He finally finds Artemis, forces the flash, but there's the Moonlight Vigil doing a lot of damage with that Infernum version.
Oh, wow.
They're stuck in. Zhu Hao has actually just blown that Nocturne up, and it's all gone a little bit wrong here for FTV. LL in the Death Realm with victory, with Kuriko, I should say, moving forward there, but he won't be able to get the kill before the Death Realm ends, and he actually goes down there to the Aatrox. Victory with the chance to do a lot of damage, but it's not going to matter. Oh, no. The Flamethrower and Yado cut him down. And Yado is moving forward here, does a lot of damage and gets the kill with the sleepy trouble bubble. Police going in for the long sleep. It's all gone a bit wrong for FTV.
It all went wrong for Pot and FTV. Pot started out the fight missing his EQ or getting grabbed out of his EQ there, so he didn't actually have the ability to impact the fight too much. I used his ultimate there. Also, Ronopi with a hero positioning and play in this fight just delayed the fight for forever, and Cerberus had enough time to reinforce and then turn the fight around. Also, very important flash from Artemis. We can see Rika needs to have the flash advantage to actually kill Artemis, because as long as Artemis can flash away, Rika can't follow.
He had flash in that fight, though. It might not have been up at the start. It might not have been up at the very start. I'd have to check the replay on that one. But unfortunately,
I think he was too scared to follow over the wall alone into Artemis, which I think is a good call. But then again, you kind of need to follow him because you're Nocturne, and if you can't kill the enemy AD as mid lane Nocturne, you're just very useless. I want to see a replay. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, here we go. So Rika does have flash.
So Kuroko engages on Thresh. Everything is blown on Thresh. Look at this. Thresh actually got hit by EQ or denied the EQ from J4. He got the ult and the full engage from Kuroko, who's just dying in the bot lane again. Not too much to talk about there. So he denied all the engage tools from Kuroko. He couldn't do anything anymore. Thresh was still alive afterwards. Pot couldn't use his EQ because he got grabbed out of there, so the cooldown actually started. Victory couldn't get past the Thresh. So Thresh single-handedly in this fight denied 3 big ultimates, or 3 players on the side of FTV.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a hero performance there by RonOP, despite dying very early in the fight, denying both forms of engage. Really, really impressive. Overall, looking good on this Thresh. Maybe he does have a second champion he can play, as the Death Realm is used. LL has to find a way onto this Aatrox, though. Passive is burning. Does he have something else? But Yado is up here. They flash forward, and this should be the easy kill. And he gives it over. Well, I don't know if he gave it, but it goes over to the Zoe, who is now 5-0. Rika goes diving in. Can they find this kill? Zhuhao will not get the damage from the ult, nor will the Midnight Vigil. But there's the unleashed power. Artemis will just instantly die. Zhuhao as well, going down. How did Artemis get the kill on the back? There must have been a tower or something.
Police still at the turret aggro,
yeah, the turret aggro.
Police actually killed Artemis with his own turret, which is good to see, because those turrets are obnoxious. But in the end, it's a 2-for-1 for our FTV, who get a little bit of an advantage in that fight, but they lose top lane turret, solo gold to LL. Also lost the top lane fight as well, so in the end,
they're looking for another engage here. I don't know about this one, Pot. Kuroko and Rika are not on a lot of health, but the Cataclysm will be used, locking that Zoe down. Kuroko might insta-die, but Aftershock is a very strong rune, kids. Yado goes down. Kuroko looking for another Zenith Blade, but they will let RonOP escape.
Yeah, there we go. Another kill to FTV. Good collapse on Yado. RonOP tried to save his mid laner there a little bit early on. Lantern, sorry.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the ability.
What it is.
The Lantern Dark Passage, it's called, I think. So he could have tried to bait out Pot's ult, but he thought it would be enough to get his mid laner out of the first engage, but then Pot easily followed up with his ult, and they locked down the kill on Yado, even though it looked quite close. Yado picked up the red smite and tried to force another counter kill. Wasn't able to do so.
That is very true, and it is a bit of a tale of 2 carries in this game. I think it's fair to say. Both mid laners have 5 kills, but unfortunately we have to go back to that scaling question. I think Nocturne might fall off a little bit.
Yeah, he does. He really does. So now he actually forced the stopwatch for Artemis, which was another very crucial to prevent the instant assassination. The next fight, FTV, if FTV can find a fight in the next 2-3 minutes, Artemis has flash available though, so it will be hard to lock him down, especially because he has cleanse as well, so you can cleanse the fear. I don't think he can actually survive Rika for too long in the fight, so Rika might.
It'll depend on gun combination. I feel like if he has Severum and Chakrams and he throws down a Severum turret, switches, and then presses Q, that's a lot of healing.
That is very true. Yeah, maybe you can actually out-sustain.
I hate the sentence I just said.
Yeah, if Aphelios can out-sustain a 5-1 mid lane Nocturne, I think we...
Look at the damage there. The trouble bubble didn't even land before the Q. Good reactions there by Rika. Spell shielding the hook coming in. There is the solar flare, but RonOP, he's a tanky boy with the stone plate, so he'll be just fine.
Once again, everything blown on RonOP. I really don't like her far. He's focusing way too much on RonOP. He's baiting out all the crucial abilities. Now Leona is completely useless. No ult. E, okay, will come off cooldown again, but that's not good enough. Cerberus secures the dragon.
Yeah, absolutely. And we didn't comment on it. It is Infernal Rift, of course, as Shirley, the second Rift Herald, does charge in. Both teams now have mid lane opened up. Pretty important overall. Ooh, Yado just about getting that eye before the second charge, denying a fair bit of value. Interesting GLP. Oh.
So I disagree a lot with FTV's choices here. They went for immediate gold with the mid third, and But they also have to look at the scaling, and we've talked now at length about the scaling of in this game. Cerberus in a very big advantage. So FTV actually needed the Dragon acceleration. Now there's no chance for the Dragon to be in time for them to still win team fights. So Dragon Soul basically is already secured by Cerberus. It's just a matter of time because FTV can't fight for the last Dragon. Even if they were to get the next two, then the two afterwards would be impossible for them to get. So now FTV needs to look for something else. Maybe a Baron sneak. Maybe they can force the Baron map split with the Dragon focus for Cerberus. But then again, their Baron speed is not great, so
yeah,
it's looking dire.
It's looking a little bit dire. I mean, their Baron speed, it's not great, but Nocturne does shred Baron pretty quick, especially because you can spell shield the auto attack.
That's true.
So yeah, he
you
gets
also get the
massive
attack speed from J4 on everyone. So yeah, it's not bad. It's not super great, but it's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
They can take Baron.
Yeah. Baron will die. He's not that difficult a raid boss. Shouldn't take too many wipes to get his mechanics down. Sorry, I've been playing too much WoW.
No,
I'm in a WoW mindset.
I think almost everyone can relate to that. So.
Fun fact, the latest world first was the first world first that North America has got in 8 years, I think. Mr. Pandaria.
Okay, that is too much insight. I have no idea what you...
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter though, because we've got a team fight. Rika's dove in, tried to kill Artemis, goes into the stopwatch. Police is here to deal some damage, but there's the Moonlight Vigil from 2 screens away, and the Infernum will kill him and make it a 1-for-1. But it could continue here. Zhuhao with the flash forward. Really well done there. Kuriko on no health. The Rek'Sai ult will get him back. Zenith Blade was desperate. Wasn't going to get him anywhere. Police now in the Death Realm. Should be an easy kill here by LL. And it is end up as a 3-for-1. Only the support going down for Cerberus.
Don't stopwatch. All these bad stopwatches in pro play are tilting me. Whatever. It's the Baron probably for Cerberus, who have a very good Baron team. So, yeah. This should be very easy to take. Artemis doesn't have the greatest gun to take.
Needs to get on his Severum.
Yeah.
And they actually have to back off because he was too low. I don't know why he was using Infernum there. That's a huge mistake. Yado will get yanked back with the chains, and they actually can't secure Baron.
So I think he didn't have the Severum on. He would try to get through the ammo to get the Severum in his offhand to swap to the Severum and then heal up again. But he didn't get through the ammo for the flamethrower quickly enough to get to his sustain gun. So that actually cost the Baron. Interesting Aphelios mechanic there. And for once, Aphelios actually struggled with his weapons. Not often that is the case.
Had a bad weapon? Oh, Yulwei. Maybe I should take over his color. But here is the initial dive. This is really unfortunate. He just manages to get away. Oh, we go down to bot lane, and then this is the Moonlight.
Yeah, and the cleanse, super important here for Artemis, because you can cleanse Ignite, and this actually saved his life. He would have died to the Ignite from Rika, but he just cleansed the Ignite, stood there, fired his Moonlight Vigil, and got the kill.
Yep. LL actually had a really good flank teleport there as well. So, really happy to see that.
So I just spotted what Artemis tried to do. So for Baron, the best combination of weapons is Severum Crescendum, right? It's the highest single target combination you can go for, especially on a standing target that doesn't really fire back.
Yep.
So he had the Crescendum in the offhand, and then the flamethrower in the other hand, the Infernum, right? So he tried to get rid of the Infernum.
We do actually have a catch there. Sorry to cut you off. Kuriko did get hit by everything. Pot now trying to move in. Rika has hit the paranoia button. He's flying forward, but he's in the middle of the enemy team. He's going to go down pretty quickly into that Guardian Angel.
Optimus.
Yup, this is looking very, very dire for FTV. If you can't win team fights, if you can't do any damage in a team fight, smash the FF button, because I think this game might be over.
Yeah, Artemis tried to make his best ex-Peke ADC impression there. Just stood still and used his Q on the Severum to just heal up again. And no one actually dealt any damage to him, even though he was caught from the beginning of the fight. And that is just the game. Let's be honest, this game is over, even though it's only 5k gold. FTV can't do anything anymore.
This is a hook there onto Police, and he instantly dies to the Aphelios. They've got the wave push. I think, will they go to Baron? I don't think so. No, the death timers are a bit too short for Dragon and Baron, but they are now on Soul Point, threatening the Infernal Soul, and now that's a scary one with an Aphelios. That's very spooky.
Yeah. I think whatever they get now, the game is just not winnable anymore for FTV. 5k gold behind. They just can't get access to Artemis. His cleanse is very good against Rika's engage. Rika doesn't have the damage without the ignite to take him down. Now he's very squishy as well, so whenever he engages, he just instantly dies. Now with Guardian Angel gone, can't really go for the Hail Mary dives there. So yeah, it's very hard to see a world where FTV can win this game, especially because wow, Artemis is really trying to tilt me here. When the third item, Guardian Angel, which
yeah, that's very, very silly.
It's silly, but also I guess he just doesn't. It doesn't matter, and he doesn't want to die. So I don't like it.
He's protecting the KDA. Let's be totally honest.
It's not super bad in this situation, I have to say. If you play against the assassin, the only win condition for to kill the ADC, GA is kind of understandable, but then again, I don't think he needed the GA anymore. He wasn't actually dying in the last few team fights. So
yeah, I agree. I wouldn't have minded just the stopwatch buy, because I think Rika dives onto you. You just buy stopwatch.
He used the stopwatch before, so the stopwatch was already expanded, so he couldn't use the stopwatch anymore.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I mean, Rika got onto him last fight, and he didn't lose health.
Nope.
He was just full health. So, I mean, the GA is just a safety buy, which, to be perfectly honest, I might not 100% agree with the item choice, but I actually really like the mindset. The fact that Cerberus are just saying, why let them have the 1 in 100? Right?
Yeah. I like that they read the situation and adapt the item builds, because that is something we sometimes lack from the VCS and even from our bigger leagues as well. LCK especially comes to mind. But yeah, still the item choice is one of these items I just hate to see, but I think it's okay in this situation.
I think it's okay.
Also, if they want to play on Infernal Soul, they probably have enough time to get to IE after Infernal Soul as well. So they must maybe they'll just enter a little bit of a lull here, wait for the Infernal Soul, and just lock the game down 100% with the Infernal Soul afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think waiting for Infernal Soul is a mistake by any means, Cerberus. If you get Infernal Soul here, you're pretty much 100% to win the game, where currently you're, what, 90%? So why not go for the 100, right?
Yeah, they don't need to, but yeah, I agree. They can. And we might just see 1.5 minutes of nothingness, because FTV don't have any pressure on the map, so they can't do anything here.
FTV
I'd like to see them.
FTV can't go anywhere. Can't split either. Zhu Hao a little bit caught out here, but goes for the flash knock up on the victory. Paranoia has been used. Where is Rika? He's coming in, and he goes on the stopwatch Zhu Hao. Victory now going down, and FTV is melting away. LL gets a kill on the backside. Yeah. Ron OP looking for Pot. Triple kill there for the Mordekaiser. Can Ron find Pot to complete the ace and win the game?
Pot seems to be okay. But this should still be the game. 30 seconds on Rika, 20 seconds.
Chance, yeah. They have the wave. Yeah. That was Zhu Hao potentially getting caught in River. They're not going to Baron.
They're going to Baron.
Maybe the death time is actually. I mean, with 13 seconds, only.
It would have been a little bit risky.
It would have been a bit risky. I actually like them going to Baron here. I take it back.
Okay,
Cerberus.
Yep. Take away the red buff.
He wants it. Why? Zoe gets what she wants. She's like a little kid. She'd cry. No one wants that.
Yeah. So now Cerberus actually was forced to fight and got the perfect reset on Baron to just reset and go for the FTV. I don't quite want to flame FTV here. I think the decision to force the fight was a good decision. Try to fight before the Infernal Drake spawns, and try to get a little bit of an advantage on the flash timings and so on to have a chance in the Infernal Drake's fight. FTV actually first to Infernal, so can they sneak this one? Reset took a lot of time for Cerberus.
Yeah, and they're stopping to get the red buff as well. Tremor should be giving away the fact that they're on this. Oh, really bad blast cone there. Didn't get over the wall, so he had to flash. The solar flare doesn't get much of anything done. And there is the Infernal Soul denied. A lot of damage being done by Aphelios here. Can FTV clutch a fight win out? I don't know. Artemis is still on a lot of health. Rika goes into the GA. Police will go down. And it was a valiant effort, FTV. But in the end, they will fall. Instant teleport by LL. And he's going to push the minions in. And Cerberus will take game 1. But FTV, they looked better.
Put up a fight. Yeah, they put up a fight. I like the draft approach. In the end, not good enough in the early game to snowball this game. And the team fights didn't look like 5k gold apart. They looked like 20k gold apart because the scaling difference was just too big. Police didn't have the big late game impact. But you don't really expect the Syndra bot lane to have the big late game impact compared to the Aphelios. So I think you've played a fine Syndra. Overall, I'm quite happy with FTV's performance, even though they're now on an 0-7 game loss streak. This did look a lot better. So
yep, and we are. We'll warn everyone. I'm just gonna have to fix one thing up really quick, just with that. Get your way back in the frame. But here we are. What is there to say, really, about this one? FTV, it's an improvement, for sure. It's good. It's good to see them improve. Still looking like a bottom-tier team, though, which is... what is that to really say? Cerberus, they looked pretty good as well.
Yeah.
Better than last week. It's good to see improvement, right?
Good team fighting from Cerberus, and also didn't get thrown off by this unusual team composition from FTV. Struggled a little bit in the early game to deal with Nocturne, but especially Yado stabilized mid lane a lot and didn't actually fall to the Nocturne 1v1 situations, which is quite valuable because then you have more control, a better mage in the late game. And yeah, very good play from Artemis as well on the Aphelios. He didn't die to Nocturne, I think. Did he die once to him?
I don't think he did. He die?
Yeah, he actually didn't die to Nocturne, which is
I don't
the
think
most crucial part on the side of FTV's team composition, right? FTV needed to kill the ADC. They were not successful in doing so. So in the end, Artemis, very good positioning, good use of the cleanse, very good awareness to cleanse away all the ignites. So cleanse actually hard countered Rika's engage there, because Rika was never able to one-shot him without the ignite. So Nice awareness from Aphelios. Artemis looking quite strong in this game.
Yeah, he absolutely did so far. Now, the question comes, though, who do we believe is MVP? I think candidates for
Yeah. Zuhao had a very bad early game, so I don't think he's eligible. Ronopi had strong team fighting on the Thresh, time and time again. Well, he was kind of propped up also by the fact that the enemy team just threw everything at him. So he looked better than what he actually did. So I'm not sure if you can reward him for bad play on the enemy team.
Very true. I mean, Yado looked good. Artemis looked good. I think it's between them, honestly. Yep. I think I'm leaning towards Artemis because he had to deal with Rika. He was super challenged by the Nocturne. That's not easy to fend off, especially because the Nocturne was pretty fed. But at the same time, Yado did a lot.
Question, in my opinion. I think Yado played a better game, but Artemis was more important to Cerberus' success. So I'm not sure where to go here in terms of MVP. Valuable player, if you just go by definition, should be Artemis, in my opinion. Best player, more Yado. So I'm fine with either choice. You can.
Let's go for Yado. I like Yado's play.
Okay.
Sorry for the stream there. You did just see a little bit of my Twitch. Don't judge who I follow. Dash Ducks is a great channel. It's a whole channel that's just ducks. What's not to love?
Okay.
But unless you have anything more to say about game 1 here, we will be going to a little break. To see if Cerberus can close this one out 2-0, or can FTV put something on the board, give us a little bit of hope. We'll be back
their
soon,
first game of the season.
Yeah, it'd be nice. You'd like getting off the ground, don't you? But we will be back in about 7 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. So thank you guys for tuning
Thanks
in.
for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Hope to see you he just oranges the ult.
Okay.
But regardless, like, again, I think they'll just farm lane.
Yep.
I don't know if that's the correct decision.
We'll see.
Kiana now being removed as well. That's a
I
mid lane
don't
ban.
understand this ban.
They're banning that
is
for
such
mid
a weird
lane.
ban. I know, but even if you pick the Kiana here for victory, you have a triple AD topside then with an AD carry already picked in. This is actually forcing the Kiana would be super good for Cerberus. If FTV picked Kiana, Cerberus would have instantly won the draft. Like they already won the draft, to be honest, but even more than they already did. So.
And they banned the Nocturne out just to...
mid laner bans. That is...
They banned the Nocturne
a
out
weird
as well,
choice.
just stopping the potential weirdness from Rika. Yeah, I mean, why not, right? What else do you really need to ban?
Yeah, I just inherently disagree with banning AD champs here. Because
Yeah.
if FTV is going to pick an AD champ, they have already lost the game. So just let them have their AD champs. Who cares?
Yeah, it's very true. I wouldn't be surprised to see a mid laner being found with
I like
quite a few
this.
mid lane bans, but
That's
they're
good to
just
see.
going to pick Thresh. It worked last game. Makes a lot of sense. Thresh, Aphelios, honestly, one of the strongest lanes, I think. Not necessarily because Thresh is super strong, but just because he makes Aphelios stronger.
Yeah, stronger than he already is, which is scary to think about. Just go Rakan here. Let Kurko have the... Yep, I like this. Go
Yep,
Rakan.
go Lover's
Have a little bit
Lane.
of engage.
You know what?
For...
You know what? FTV, they instantly win draft here. It's Valentine's Day and they've picked the Lover's Lane. How can we flame that? We can't flame that, can we?
Also, just imagine this is a 9.2 game and not 10.2. And suddenly the draft looks very good.
Yeah, they hard won draft. I just got to go back a year before I started casting VCS.
So what is the last pick here? Yeah, another 9.2 champ. There we go.
I mean, I think Rise is fine.
Fits. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. And the Rise was very obvious with the Cassiopeia ban as well. FTV was one of the first teams to actually bring out the new Rise when no other region played the new Rise after MSI. VCS was the first region I saw him in. So going back to a little bit of the comfort pick here for victory. Rise. Maybe it's for Eureka. Who knows? It's FTV. Everyone goes anywhere he wants. So. And no one wins, so it doesn't matter.
Where the roles are made up and the kills don't matter.
So last pick will be the Orianna, a standard counter pick into Rise. She has actually emerged as one of the go-to answers into Rise. If you want to go for lane power, you go Cassio. If you want to go for teamfight prowess, you go Orianna. I like this one as well. Also one of Yado's comfort champs, if I remember correctly. Yeah, he has played her already twice this season.
He's
and
looked
last
pretty good
season
on her as well.
Yeah, Yado has impressed me a lot. I think Yado is one of the best players on Cerberus' team so far.
I agree.
Ronopi also standing out on the Leona games, the last game. So Ronopi is actually getting back to form. We criticized him a lot last year when he was also on Cerberus and entered a lot of games. But he's looking better this year.
Yeah, he absolutely is, which is, as you said, very, very good to see. Let's see. Overall, I really like Cerberus' draft. I think the Mordekaiser into Gangplank is weird, but not bad. I think it's okay. Particularly because it's Rika's Gangplank. What's Rika going to do?
Yep. That's fair. I like Cerberus' draft as well. I think it's a super strong season 10 draft. You can team fight for ages here. Orianna Aphelios, super strong backline. You have Jarvan, Mordekai's, and Thresh to set up the fights.
Mordekai's is my favorite.
So honestly, you should actually pronounce him Mordekaiser, probably, because Mordekaiser is a very German word in my opinion. So
Mordekaiser
can't really go away.
Mordekaiser is literally in German, isn't it?
Yeah.
Doesn't it mean like murder emperor or something?
Yeah, it does. But yeah, if the R is missing, you should probably pronounce him something like Mordekaiser, which sounds even worse, to be honest.
Yeah, probably. But here we are in game. It is the lethal tempo of Aphelios once again. He looked good last game. I'm not sure if that was because of the rune or because of Aphelios, but yeah,
lethal tempo.
Yeah,
it seems to be an option. I mean, it's Aphelios. He can do anything. You shouldn't be surprised. He could probably go glacial augment or something, still win the game. So whatever. Predator. Why not Predator Aphelios? Give us Predator Aphelios.
Predator Aphelios. That is cursed. And still go magical boots. Omnistone Aphelios. Let's go. Then he can have all the runes.
Yeah, why not? It's interesting.
I
Is there
still
a reason as to why he wants to go Lethal Temple this game? Maybe to match police?
potentially. I think it is just for the potential of drawn out team fights. And oh no, speaking of fighting, Ron P definitely not getting the better of that trade. It was just a bit of a bush
don't
bait.
fight into Zyra Khan level 1.
No. Absolutely do not.
A good thing to do.
Top lane.
I think most affiliates go with Conqueror for extended fights. So I'm quite intrigued by this lethal tempo choice for Artemis 2 games in a row. Seems like he values the attack speed a little bit more, which also might actually lead to a better itemization choice. He didn't go for it last game, but I'd say if you go lethal tempo, you can straight up go second item IE, even more so than you can go a second item IE on something like PTA. Because PTA, you kind of want the attack speed, right? If you go PTA, feels bad if you have 1 attack speed.
Sorry, I completely mistook what Gangplank did for a second. I thought there was a control ward in the middle of the lane. But Police taking a lot of damage, has been ignited just to force more damage onto him. Bad situation already. Very bad situation, in fact, as he has already used his pot, ticking back up, and Zhu Hao is here. They should be able to get the lane push.
Well.
Yeah, this could be a fairly easy dive.
They need to be super careful here.
This is just, I think it's just a pretty easy dive, surely. But it could be matched by a dive on the top side.
They still both have flash available, though.
Yeah, but you could just get them, right? Just get both flashes. And Yado's here as well. The teleport's been called. Really nice flash EQ. And it's actually a kill in the top lane for LL. That was first blood. And it's all got a little bit wrong here as Zhu Hao has gone down. They do have the Gravitum, though, for the easy CC. There it is being used. A lot of damage being dealt. Can they actually re-engage under this tower?
No, they can't. They can't.
I don't think they can. And they recognize that as well, which was the more important part of whether or not they could. Artemis is super split from his team here. He needs to get out, taking way more damage. Victory flashes forward. They're going to kill him for absolutely no reason, recognizing the mistake. Ron OP also in a lot of trouble here. Grand Entrance should be able to be used momentarily. And he is going to go forward, knock him up, and it should be an easy kill. Never mind. He flashes away. But still a free flash.
Earlier, come on.
I don't know why Artemis
Man, so many greedy flashes this game. Holy, or not flashes, because they don't want to flash.
I have no idea. Why didn't Artemis flash?
I think he was caught off guard by the stun combo for Ryze, because Ryze is such a new champ. You don't actually know what he does.
Yeah, Ryze is brand new.
You should know that he can re-engage there.
This was the dive in the top lane.
We get to see the first blood here.
Yep.
Nicely done. Given over to Rika as well.
That was the easiest
Very
kill.
nicely executed.
Yeah, that was super clean, unlike the bot lane play, which actually ended up, even if that kill in the top lane hadn't happened, it was still an advantage for FTV. So
suddenly it's a big early game lead for FTV here. Rika got the first blood, so he's looking mighty fine. And we have the Ryze in the mid lane, 2-0, Victory and Rika, potentially the 2 big late game carries here for this FTV squad. So squad with D, not with T. For inside joke.
The mad squad. But now, this is really bad for the top lane. Because I already think GP into Maud isn't a great matchup. I think Maud can farm it out if nothing happens. And come out even. But now that Gangplank has a lead, he's already got the Sheen compared to a refillable bot. This is really terrible. Rough. And Pot's back. I like this. Just repeat gang. Look at that damage from the parlay. Man. What are you flushing?
What was that flash? Stop, please, Cerberus. Come on.
What are you? What?
Yeah, that
Where
was panic
he going?
That was the most panic flash I've seen in a very long time. That was super useless.
Someone clip that so we can have an LL command on the Discord.
Yeah.
That was one of the worst flashes I've ever seen. Oh, and I've seen some bad flashes. But they will trade it for an Ocean Drake. Not worth it, but at least they get something back. And I think Pot's just going to camp top. Why wouldn't you?
There's something going into Cerberus's favor, and that is bot lane CS matchup. And I'm not quite sure why. Because FTV lost a lot of creeps early on, right? They should have been able to. Oh wow, he's 2 levels up on police.
One of the things that happened, we saw it very briefly on camera, was there was a very, very good momentary freeze. They had a massive lane push into them, and they just chilled for it. They do have a bit of a lead, but doesn't make up for top side.
Shouldn't be this big though. I don't think it should be this big. So seems like Artemis is definitely playing a very good affairs here, which, judging from the first game, he is. So that is now the bright spot for Cerberus. They are 2k gold behind, and most of that gold lead is mid and top lane. So they need to kind of stabilize those 2 lanes and let Artemis scale into team fights.
Yeah, I agree. That they do. I don't know.
Look at the items in top lane. Oh my god. This is such a disgusting lead. Rika is sitting on 2 items, or 2 item components that are quite valuable. And on the other side, we have boots and the cloth armor. Wow.
Oh, that is very, very bad. I think one of the only problems is that, unfortunately, this lead is on Rika.
Yeah. I think Rika is a weird player. Rika is a really weird player.
As the smite does go on the crab, here is the Gangplank ult and the Shockwave both being used. Rika needs to find a way out, and he goes instantly down, and the shutdown goes to Yado. Very good there. And no dive possible in the bot lane. That flamethrower clears the wave far too quickly.
That's even better than just the shutdown. They also got the Gangplank to protect the bot lane from getting dived there, so...
I actually don't agree with using the cannon barrage. It was never getting out.
I don't think that was a good choice. It feels weird to just give up your life and not use all your tools, all the tools you have available to you, right? So that's also the reason why I flashed, even though the flash was even worse than the cannon barrage usage. But yeah, I agree. He should have probably just thrown the R into the bot lane and enable the dive, and then just chill from gray screen and look at your teammates. Maybe look over to the PC of the teammates to see a little bit more colors.
League of Legends actually can be quite bright when you're not constantly dead. But I mean, despite that, I don't think that really affected the top lane matchup very much. No. LL didn't participate.
It's very good for Yado.
Yeah, it's great for Yado. The big shutdown. He has now got a Seeker's Arm Guard. Definitely not what Mordekaiser wants to be going first. I almost think could have gone Bramble. Decided not to.
Yeah, I think this Mordekaiser should have probably just matchup, because whatever he builds here will actually not really matter in this matchup. This matchup is just over. So I think he should have probably just gone for the of Liandry's to get to at least one useful item, because now he's delaying his Liandry's even more. He will not get close in CS anymore. This Gangplank will soon hit his Trinity power spike as well. So does he have the turrets? No, Artemis for the first time while pushing a turret without the chakram.
I just want to point out how ridiculous but now he's got them, never mind.
Oh, there we go.
How ridiculous the animation for the...
It's so absurd.
It's ridiculous. But the Severum Q, I think, has one of the funniest animations I've seen, because he just, like, flails his arms around and heals.
Yeah.
For no real reason.
I think it's super weird that Severum is not a melee weapon, because it really does look like a melee weapon.
Like, I always call it a scythe. Even though it's a pistol.
Yeah, it looks like
victory!
It's right?
Ooh, nice little flash to stay in his own realm wall.
Yep.
But this should be first tower pretty easy. Rift Herald is going to be traded for it, but I don't think it's going to be able to kill top tower first. This should be pretty safe. No! First tower actually does go to FTV.
Yeah, super close, but then more gold in the pockets of Rika. Now it's really on Rika to carry this. He got all the early attention from his jungle. He got all the kills, and he got first blood, he got the first turret, so now Rika really has to step up and show us why FTV invested this many resources into the top laner.
Yep.
So, if FTV is going to lose this game, which is still possible, even though they have a very solid lead, kind of have to blame Rika here. Victory as well, because he got 2 kills in the mid lane, but yeah, they invested more resources into Rika. Victory was just there to pick up the kill.
Yeah, absolutely. This will be a Mountain Drake picked up. What's your bet for the Rift? You've got a couple seconds to think.
Cloud.
Okay. What have we got?
Another Mountain Drake.
And it is Infernal.
Unlucky.
2 games in a row, we've gone to the Infernal. Fortunately, you did lose the 50-50. Color caster, he calls himself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I completely agree with you. If FTV was to somehow go on to lose this game, you've got to be looking directly at the Rika camp. Elias here, clearing the wave with his alien guns, if you've watched the latest episode of Summoning Insight.
Yep. Yeah, I did.
I actually agreed with Monty. He was correct.
Yeah.
Thorin just didn't get it.
Yeah, Thorin had a lot of trouble understanding the point Monty was making. So, yeah, I agree.
I really like Thorin.
Did you see the episode with Perks?
No, I missed that.
A great. Everyone should watch that podcast. If you have any a sweet spot for a G2 or a LEC or Perks, just go watch the Crackdown with Dom, Thorin, and Perks. Great episode. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
I'll have to check that
Perks
out.
is just such a great player. I love him.
Perks is a very, very good player, and that's not even counting his personality. Victory, it appears, has come down to this bot lane to potentially hold. The mid laners have both moved down here.
Victory is going to go tank build. Oh no.
Is it that bad when you have a ridiculous gangplank?
I just don't like the tank build anymore. I think it was very good on the iteration of Rice at MSI. That was a super strong Rice there. I think the tank build was very valuable there. I don't think you should go tank build anymore on Rice. I think you lose out on a lot of damage. And actually, most of the tank Rices still go down quite quickly if they get caught.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, there's a reason most tanks aren't very good in the game at the moment. Only one of them is really playable.
On the other side, Yado is proving once again to be a little bit of a going with best itemization for Oriana. So thank you.
Absolutely. The Super Soaker, he did also go that last game on his Zoe.
He did on Zoe, which was very surprising. It's not common on Zoe.
It's good though.
Damage. I mean, the item is just broken.
Yeah.
It's one of those items. Ridiculous. Yeah, it's not quite Leandri's for LS, but I'm a little bit of a salesman for this item. I think GLP is super strong.
Come on down to Yulwei Super Soaker Emporium. You'll have more summer fun than you've ever had before. As we do have a bit of a slower pace now for FTV. They can't really continue to abuse the top lane, and they've taken all of the towers outside the base.
I'd really like to have a look at the goal totals for players. We don't get to see too often in VCS, sadly. I think there's a significant advantage in top lane. Probably almost all of the gold lead is probably in top lane, honestly. So as long as Cerberus fights 4v4 or 4v4.5, because you always have to deal with Rika's ult, right? Maybe Cerberus can actually win team fights here. If you look at the goal totals, you would not think Cerberus would be able to win fights because they're 3k gold behind.
Yeah, but Pot is coming forward there. Yado insta-flash away, but here's the TP. The Super Soaker comes out and gets some control. Ooh, terrible communication. Why TP in if he's flashing away?
Bad.
And look at top lane now. Rika's going to be able to get some damage done on the inhibit tower. Has demolish.
And his passive. Wow, the passive burnt the turret. Oh, man.
Yeah, he sets it on fire. He's a proper anarchist. Throwing the cocktails. Interesting, to say the least.
He's also printing money. So, yeah.
What's that got to do with anarchism? Anarchism. Whatever. Let's not go down that road. I'm going to call that timeout. As it will be the bot lane outer going down. FTV looking really good in this game. I said that they'd slowed down. I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. They're playing it slow and steady.
Cerberus
they don't
just
throw.
handed them even more gold. Like, that was such a bad play from Cerberus because there was no communication between Yard. Yado flashed away, even though LL had started his teleport right at that moment. So there seems to be a little bit of communication issue for Cerberus, which is not good to see. They were hyped as one of the potential top 3 teams. I think after 2 weeks, we can safely say they are far away from a top 3 position in VCS. They should still easily win this matchup. So it's quite worrying to see them struggle against FTV this much.
Definitely very interesting here, as the Mountain Drake will be spawning if Cerberus... Oh, I don't like this... Oh, sorry, Infernal Drake, I should be saying. Infernal Rift. But we do have FTV looking for a reset, which is very badly timed, because this will put Cerberus on Soul Point if they go for it. But it looks like they might just give this one up and try and use the time to potentially try and catch up some of these very poorly lanes. I think that's a good decision. It's the first dragon for FTV. It really doesn't matter.
Yeah. So
they go on to Yado though with the Realm Warp. The cannons are used as well. Bang.
Easy kill for FTV. They didn't. The observers were very surprised by this one, as was I, because Yado, why was he there? Not sure. Got caught by the Realm Warp. Done for FTV. The next 10 minutes will be crucial. The next 10 minutes will decide this game. FTV in a very good position. They need to accelerate though, because late game team fighting as the rise into Oriana is very hard to do. So you want to move into a 1-3-1 setup as FTV, but I don't like, just looking at this team, I don't quite believe they can play 1-3-1 cleanly. So it's probably better to just brute force team fights as a bad team. So yeah. We'll have to see if FTV is able to break open all the turrets and then try to go for a Baron, maybe at 24-25 minutes, into potentially threatening the base at around 30 minutes. That is probably the roadmap for this game. There is one difficulty. They need to see how they can get through the wave clear, because Cerberus' wave clear is looking quite strong. They have Oriana, they have Aphelios. Even Mordekaiser is not bad at clearing waves in side lanes. So
yeah, I mean, I don't know if he's going to be able to clear against the Gangplank, but Zhu Hao has been absolutely caught. Went into the bounce house. Very interesting stopwatch by Kuriko. Completely useless, but it looked funny because he was up in the air.
Well, another kill for FTV. If this continues, FTV will just win this. It's 4k gold lead now.
Ooh, we could potentially... Nope.
The kill cake. So, and Victory's build was so weird. Okay, he went for a very late Rod of Ages, which doesn't really make too much sense, because now he's not looking to be in his strongest spot until 28 minutes, I think it was. So a little bit of a power trough, even though he was super strong. I would have liked to see the rushed in this game after tier. Not quite sure why you didn't go for that.
Oh, the Realm Warp's interrupted here. The Sombrero will come out. Looking good here for Cerberus. They pick up some kills they should never have been given. The massive shutdown for Artemis. And that is a very, very important gold injection.
2 kills to Artemis. There was more than 1,000 gold, I think, so that is super crucial. But LL struggled in top lane still against Rika. Rika can... Does he have the damage to get the cert? Nope, not quite. So this side lane matchup now is a big problem for FT.
Rika caught here. That's an easy kill. Another one onto the Aphelios.
Another shutdown. Well, now suddenly Artemis is sitting on shutdown himself and has just collected about 1.5k gold. I would really like to see him rushing towards IE to accelerate his power spike, especially with the lethal tempo we've talked about before. I don't think he's going to do that because he always sits on a dagger, so potentially the Runaans picked up here. Yep, there it is. Straight up Runaan. So that's not bad either. So I guess he can do. Oh, no. He should have built IE.
Yeah.
Look at his items. He had the money for IE.
Yeah, he absolutely should have built IE. That was super silly. But one thing to comment on, we do have FTV trying to play a 1-3-1 style, which is... It's VCS. I don't know if I believe it.
Yeah. I mean, they should, looking at their comp, but they are just not coordinated enough to do it.
And this was just them getting completely caught. Yeah, pretty absurd. He got a kill back that shouldn't have happened.
Oh, yeah, that's Rice for you. That's also why you should just go Burst Rice, because late game Burst Rice, it's just ridiculous. You crit everyone for 1,000 because you're Rice. The damage potential of Rice is absolute.
Oh, we've got another fight here. Kuriko has engaged, got a decent little engage. That shockwave only hitting onto Pod, who goes into the stopwatch. Will come back out. Oh, God, Pod, I don't know about that one. Instantly dies. LL up in the top lane has gone into the Death Realm with Rise, and it is indeed the Death Realm.
Flash again. My.
Terrible flash. LL is having...
Please.
LL...
unbind flash.
No, we've got to say, though, LL is having an excellent performance here for FTV.
Yeah, indeed.
As Rika is looking to run towards the top lane, Gangplank with those barrels is a speedy pirate. And
there we go.
He gets over to his teammate.
The inhibitor here.
They should. 2v1. This is a free inhib. Why is Cerberus not doing anything about this? As they've just traded an inhib for an infernal.
What the? I am.
Woo! VCS! Woo!
That was yeah. Okay. I mean, Cerberus is now on soul point, so if they made the judgment to say, okay, we lose the inhibitor, that is actually good for LL, because now the minions will push into him and he'll get more experience and gold than his counterpart Rika. I struggle to believe that they made the choice to play this out this way, but might actually work in their favor, I have to say. 23-minute top lane inhibitor is not actually that great. You can't do anything with the top lane inhibitor. Bot lane inhibitor would be very valuable to force Baron, of course. Now, this inhibitor does come back up when the dragon comes up as well. So now it's kind of... It's a very interesting run of play for FTV, because they need to pressure top lane more than Cerberus can respond to it to have the free access to the dragon. If they're not able to do that, this inhibitor take will actually be beneficial to Cerberus.
Yeah. It is going to be... I mean, if Infernal Soul is picked up, how much of the gold deficit does that make up?
That's a good question. I actually think the best play for FTV here is to give up Infernal Soul and get the Baron and immediately finish the game.
Ooh, and now Pot gets caught out here. Shuhao diving forward, but it's not going to matter, because on the backside of the fight, Rika is doing so much here. Aphelios is dead indeed. LL has gone into the Death Realm with police. Should be able to get a pretty free kill there. Zaya going down, but now comes the pirate, and the barrel does hit. LL is taking so much damage. The lantern was just a moment too late. And it's a 3 for 2, which is honestly better than Cerberus should have got.
Yeah, especially if you look at this fight. Artemis instantly died. He didn't have the... It's not a good sign for FTV. FTV needs to win this game soon, because if Police is too far behind to have big impact. Also, IE was not complete. Now IE is there for Artemis. Artemis is sitting on 3 items, and we all know what Aphelios does with 3 items.
That's very scary. He has to die instantly every fight.
But as you pointed out in the team fight, Rika put in a lot of work, so... so far, all the focus on Rika has paid off for FTV. Now they just need to lock down this game. And I still maintain I would like to see FTV potentially trade Dragon for Baron, and then just go for the last push. Because I mean, it's a hard call to make. It's obviously the soul is quite strong for Cerberus. But if you get Baron and can accelerate the game even more, maybe you can actually finish the game with the Baron, or potentially with the next dragon spawning, which will be Elder Dragon. So
Oh, and
It's
we've
very
got
hard
another
to
little
say.
catch here, but Kuriko will get
It's
out
Rakan,
to pot.
so
Yep,
he's fine.
it is Rakan. How are you doing, Rakan? Just to explain the context, my bird is named Rakan. I have a bird. His cage is next to my desk. As FTV, they do. I think this gold lead is starting to matter less and less. And if Infernal Soul is picked up, it's really dangerous. We could go back to an even game, and in an even game, do you favour Cerberus? I mean, do you favour FTV? Sorry.
So FTV has very strong carries, right? So Rika and Victory are strong enough to just carry this, no matter what the enemy team composition is. Okay, that's okay. It does matter, of course, but the Rise is super strong. He will hit level 16 soon. So does Rika. So Rika is sitting on 2 big crit items. He could land a big battle chain and just win the team fight instantly. Rise, as I said before, has problems fighting into Oriana and into J4 sometimes as well. So it will be difficult for Victory, but he's 7-1. He should be the main carry here in team fights, as should Rika, or the secondary carry should be Rika. So it now comes down to, can Yado and Juhao, maybe even Rono, control Victory in team fights, and can Artemis stay alive to carry their side of the team fight? And I have to say, Infernal Soul, I know it's strong, but I'm personally not the biggest fan of Infernal Soul.
It's
because
nothing
I think
like Ocean.
Yeah, I think it's win more so than actually giving you, in a very close game, it can actually decide the game. But I think in this team composition, Infernal Soul might give Artemis 1 or 2 more kills in a team fight with a little bit extra damage.
Speaking of Infernal
But it's
Soul,
still,
I think we are going to get a fight here.
Victory's
Kuriko
late.
coming in.
Victory's-
Then they've got the Infernal
There
Soul
we
here
go,
on this
Infernal Soul.
fight. This is secured.
Victory,
Victory's
what are
very,
you
very
doing?
low. And oh no, the stream freezes for a moment there. This is really, really bad.
Oh
Cerberus
my
might have just
gosh.
won the game, not based on the soul, but based on a horrible, horrible fight by FTV.
They
There
were
it
late to the
is.
party. Victory had super bad positioning, and they were throwing the game away
And they're going
for
straight
absolutely
to
no
Baron.
reason.
That was
Baron?
horrible, FTV. We knew the throw would come.
Yeah.
They
It's
nearly...
still good to see FTV improve their early game, but yeah, the late
Yeah.
game is still looking rough.
They are going to get it in him there. Rika's in the bot lane. They do get
Yeah.
bot lane in
At
here.
least they get something out of this, but Inhib does not do anything for them. With
There's no objectives.
Yeah, there's no objective for them to secure with the Inhib, so Inhib actually doesn't matter too much. It will delay the push for Cerberus, but that's not bad for Cerberus. Cerberus is still behind in gold, so more time to farm up some items and get better position in teamfights. It's not too bad. Victory, no flash either after this super bad positioning in the last fight.
Yeah, I mean, FTV can definitely still win this if Victory
they can.
plays better.
I mean, as I said, Victory and Rika are in insanely strong positions right now. So if they are able to fight like they are supposed to fight on these champs, they can win every team fight they want. It's not looking too likely after what especially Victory has done in the last team fight. So Cerberus, I'd say it's almost 50-50 right now in terms of slightly favored for Cerberus because they have the Infernal Soul, and that's not going to go away for the rest of the game. So
I also think Cerberus's comp is easy. Cerberus's comp is
easy, and
really
Cerberus is also
easy.
a better team, so
That helps. But
that helps.
Even with nameplates off, this is a super easy comp to play out now that you've got Infernal Soul as well. It's going to take... I mean, they just have to kill Victory.
As a Mordekaiser player, who would you like to ult in this composition? Or who do you think is the main... Police?
And he doesn't have QSS. You can just
call.
murder him in the Death Realm because he hasn't built a QSS. It's really dumb. And the thing is Death Realm, obviously you want to remove a super... Yeah, that's absurd. I didn't want to comment. It made me... the thing about Mordekaiser ult is
Oh, Rika, nice. Look at the minimap. Rika is putting pressure on Cerberus.
Good job, Rika. Good pirate. I'm gonna finish this point.
Delaying the Baron push.
Yep.
Sorry.
It's okay. No, it's okay. There was things to comment on that were more important, but now that we have a moment, the thing about Mordekaiser ult is, yeah, you want to ult the most important target, which would be Victory, right? But Victory's just going to murder you.
Yeah.
You're just going to instantly die. But the thing is, Police doesn't matter that much because, the 0-2 Zaya, he's kind of matters, but he's not that important. But you can kill him and get his stats. And then you matter more.
Also, I think, you have you have counterpicked mid lane, so you shouldn't have to worry about Ryze in team fights, as you've picked a champ that can control Ryze in team fights, the Orianna. Right now, it's quite risky because Victory has now hit level 16, so 100% extra damage on Q.
Can I ask you a question? You're a smart boy. So why has he built Morellos on Ryze?
Oh, no, please. Same question goes over to Yado. Why is there Morellos in his
At least it's good on Orianna. Like, it's an item on your Orianna. Why has he not gone towards death cap when you have to solo carry?
Yeah, I don't understand that either. Also, could just go Zhonya's, like he does now, but he should have gone Zhonya's into death cap. Now he's still not sitting on death cap. So Orianna actually has more AP than the Ryze, even though the Ryze is sitting on 7 kills. Yeah, I totally agree. This is a completely useless item right now. He has a lot of damage on Artemis. He has full penetration, and Artemis only has this base MR, which should be something around 45 right now. So he's sitting on 33 penetration, which means he deals a lot of damage to Artemis. But will he ever get the chance to get on top of Artemis? Is the question, right? So
that is definitely the question. And Artemis has got that Mercurial Scimitar, so it's going to be even more difficult.
Okay, stop, please. Oh my god, Artemis. What is that animation?
He was cycling his gun. What's wrong with that animation? I like that animation.
It's way too overblown. It's like it's
gigantic. It's
yeah,
it's cool. It's like that one's like one of the best animations in my opinion. It's not Severum where he just flails his arms. I reckon if you slowed the Severum animation down frame by frame, there'd be some incredible smear frames.
I just don't understand how Severum hurts anyone fight. Like, it doesn't shoot anything. It's just a thigh sky.
The moon. It's his moon system.
Yeah, I guess it's the moon. Yeah. I mean,
by the way, they stole her name from World of Warcraft. Just saying. Goddess of the Moon in WoW is Elune. In this, it's Alune. Nice. I'll tell you, WoW came first. I don't mind. It's a homage. Yeah, Nasha, stolen from Dota. Well, it's a homage. Stolen is the wrong word. It's a homage.
It's a good word to say, stolen, without saying stolen.
Homages are a legitimate thing.
I know. Still, kind of.
Yeah, still. It's a respectful theft.
Yeah. Okay.
Like they stole your wallet but gave the cash back. Just took your wallet.
Wait. Wouldn't you give everything else back?
I mean, to be fair, if you're going to steal someone's wallet, give them their license and stuff. That's such a scumbag move, but they're going for the back door here. This is exciting. Can they delay the recalls? No, they're just going to take a fight. This is a little bit interesting here. Artemis will get the first kill onto Kuriko. Police is doing as much as he can, but there's a lot of chakrams out. They knock him into the GA. That's a lot of feathers that should be able to get pulled straight on top of Artemis. He insta-flashes though, and Police is in the death realm. What is going on? Victory will get a kill here. Can he get more? He does so much damage onto Yado with a Q here. Rika will go down. The Pirate is dead, and this should be Cerberus getting the easy Elder Drake, as it is just Victory.
And Victory 1v3.
I mean,
Victory.
He could if he tried, maybe. He should have gone for it, in my opinion. I think he needed to go for it. You've just lost Elder.
Artemis stayed alive. I cannot fathom how.
I'm just gonna say something that's gonna make you very upset.
I know.
He survived because of his GA.
Yeah, it's true. It's sadly true. It took so long for him to revive. I was super confused. It's 4 seconds, right?
Yep. To be fair, going GA like this late, I actually don't mind him. He doesn't need to deal more damage.
Yeah. In this team composition, I mean, now the GA is useless. This is the main problem. But maybe it was.
I mean, to be fair, that was the game-winning fight.
And he shouldn't actually have survived with the GA, but FTV tunnel. It was. We need to see the replay because they had the perfect position to kill him in the GA, but they then
He flashed away from the
He
feathers.
instantly flashed away, but that shouldn't actually matter too much. You can follow after him, but I think they thought he would revive a little bit quicker, which I thought as well. I think his revive took forever. It was super weird.
Should get a replay.
4 seconds can be a very long time
in League of Legends.
Yeah,
4 seconds is a very long time. But now it is Cerberus with Elder Dragon buff for another minute and a half, as well as Baron for 2.
Yeah.
They need.
And
I mean,
Soul.
if they don't win,
They have everything.
If they don't win in the next 2 minutes, I actually think that's a huge. They should just walk down mid.
Yeah.
Literally just walk.
I mean,
down.
there's still a lot of damage on FTV, but they don't have any flash. They are fighting against 2 of the strongest buffs in the game.
I mean,
Artemis
they are fighting
on
against
6 items.
literally the strongest buff in the game.
Yeah.
Nothing comes close to Elder.
But then also the second best Soul as well.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, Cerberus can just walk in. There's absolutely nothing FTV can do. And this will be another 0-2 night for FTV. Why are they backing up?
Yeah, no wave.
Why are you running? Gonna heal up with redemption.
Elder Dragon still for 46 seconds.
Yeah, they just need to fight now. And there they go in. They'll get the pick onto Rika. This should be fairly easy. They should go down to the dragon. No, Yado taking so much damage, and there's the blah coming out from the dragon. Zhuhao dives back in, takes a lot of damage, but manages to walk away, and Victory is dead. So much fire. And Pot dies as well. They're just waiting for a minion wave. They have one little cannon. Rika cleans it up. But here comes the reinforcements. The boys are here. And, yep, this is Cerberus taking a interesting 2-0. No, because he can't. Rika was super low there. I think the timer might be wrong on Elder, because he absolutely should have been executed.
Yep,
but
I agree.
Regardless, the Nexus has been executed. Cerberus takes a, let's just say, very clean 2-0.
Stomped FTV, no chance whatsoever.
Yeah, totally.
FTV looked way better.
Yeah, it was definitely an improvement. And yeah,
still sad to see them not being able to lock down this game. I think it was mainly on that dodge team fights from Victory, who just threw away the game there. 7-1 on Rice, and what did he do? He came from the flank, instantly died. Enemy team got the Elder Dragon. The Soul. It was the Soul fight, right? So we actually saw an Elder Dragon go down, by the way.
Oh, I know. That's the first one that spawned. Let alone one that's died. Very impressive. Cerberus treating us to a few firsts. And unfortunately, not the first 0-2 for FTV. They are yet to win a map.
Say that again. The first 2-0 for Cerberus, though, right?
I believe so.
Good to see.
I mean, I feel like if you're not 2-0ing FTV at the moment.
And it was close, so.
Yeah. But still, a win's a win. You take those.
A win is a win, I guess.
Yep.
Sometimes a win isn't really a win. Yeah. Struggle to win against FTV. Not the greatest prospect for the second game of the. I think they're playing DBL on Sunday, if I remember correctly. So
that's going to be a little bit rough.
That does not look great for them. In the end, it still is a great relief for them to get away with the 2-0, not having to play a third game and potentially risk being the first team to lose to FTV here. LL struggled.
Yes, he did.
He
had a pretty bad game, particularly in lane. But while we're talking about lowlights, who was your highlight player to give the MVP to?
I think it has to be Artemis in this game. He dealt so much damage. I know sometimes too many MVP shoutouts just because they had the ADCs, but I think in this game he was super crucial. He flashed away and saved the Elder Dragon fight there after the GA. And even though his mid laner was important as well, controlling the Rice, controlling a lot of the team fight there, his supportive members in jungle and support did quite a lot as well. I think Artemis in the end carried his team to the victory, so he should be awarded MVP.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like that one is fairly obvious. So, not much to talk about, is there? FTV is really bad.
Yeah, I think we should maybe highlight a few of the better players on FTV this.
Yeah.
I was
Rika?
impressed with Rika. I think Rika looked super good. Also, his awareness later on in the game to go for to deter the last push on Baron when he just went top lane and forced all of the enemy team to reset just to defend against him. Great map awareness. So Gangplank looks like a good champ for Rika. He had great early phase lane phase. Good attention from Pot as well early on put into him, and he did something with his gold.
Yeah, Rika
on the other side,
definitely looked good.
Victory. Not sure how to feel about Victory after this game. I mean,
it's almost like he didn't know what to do with the lane.
Yeah. His itemization was really weird. I hated his late Roa. Actually delayed a lot of the power spikes for FT, even though he was very far ahead. I hated his Morello Nomicon. I agree with you. He should have gone with the Rabadon early on. Could have potentially carried this game with the Rabadons.
He was already doing half of people's health with Qs.
He was already doing insane amounts of damage.
Yeah.
Then he had the one really big blunder. Got potentially cost the whole game, right? Because the Soul went over to Cerberus. Cerberus won the team fight, got the Baron. I mean, his early game still looked good, right? So he can't really say he had a super bad game.
He didn't have a good enough game, unfortunately.
No. The problem is
he looked
had a
better.
Great early game.
If we're talking about improvements, that was definitely improving.
Yeah.
It wasn't
the problem
enough.
is though, it's very frustrating to see this game for FTV because for once they actually had a good early game and they were still not able to make get the victory in the end. And most of that was on Victory, the player Victory, because he was 20 CS ahead. He had 2 kills early on from the bot lane fight. Third kill came in the mid lane, and then he just didn't really do anything. So how are you going to win games as FTV if your players can't even carry from a strong position?
I mean, that's the question. How does FTV win games? Because so far we haven't seen them do it.
Yeah.
I think we might have to wait
a
while to see how FTV can win games. Maybe the second
Probably
half of the
looking at Adonis, right?
Yeah, but Adonis has looked pretty good.
Adonis' mid game is so much better than FTV, so it's really quite frustrating and rough to look at.
At least it's an upward tick. Maybe it's the beginning of the climb. I mean, they are playing like an 8th place team, but if they keep ticking up, maybe they can play like a 6th place. Maybe.
Yeah.
If they, I don't think they'll go 0-14. Like, a lot of people are saying, it might be 0-14. That doesn't happen. It is so rare to go winless for a split.
Right now, they need to worry about going 28 because they have not actually won a game. So
also very true. I mean, I don't think that'll happen. Throws are definitely a thing. But yeah,
unlikely.
Is there anything
0-14 actually could happen. 0-28, I don't think.
Garm will troll or something. Someone will troll. Yeah. I don't think 0-14 will happen, but it's definitely more possible than usual. But do we have anything more to say about this one, or are we going to go into our break before the next?
Yeah, I think we're good to go into a little bit of a break. This was series. We saw different things from both teams. I like the draft approach from FTV in the first game. Second game was very frustrating to watch, but in the end, these are 2 of our struggling teams, so we didn't really expect too much. And now we'll enter, after the break, I should say, we'll enter GAM territory again, and GAM coming off of their first loss of the season. So this is
a huge test for Adonis.
Yeah.
They can. We'll go into that before the next series. We are going to go to our break now. We'll put a timer up as soon as we know what the timer is. Thank you everyone for joining. Just to do a little bit of a sellout, if you do scroll down, there is a donate button. There is also a Patreon that you can support. Because please feed a caster. We do our best. And yeah, we want to bring you a better stream if we can. And also, I'd like to pay my. So. We will
if you enjoy the emotes,
you
can also subscribe to us, of course, and support us that way. So
Feel
see you in 30 minutes. Oh, wow.
It's only about 20 minutes. Okay. About 15 minutes. Okay, we'll see you then, guys. Very short break tonight. Aren't we lucky? So yeah, we'll see you then, guys. Thank you for tuning in. As always, I've been Everyday, and Yulwei has been with me, guys, very soon.
See you soon.